Hello ladies and everyone, I'm Robin Caldwell. Welcome to Ribbon Cobweb, where I do whatever I want. And today, we're gonna talk about Shrek. Honestly, going to see Shrek in theaters when I was like 4 years old is a core memory for me. I love that movie so much. I remember the next day at my daycare like singing All Star at the top of my lungs for what I remember is like the whole day. For those of you who've seen Shrek, you may remember there's a scene at the beginning where he makes himself a little dinner for one, and to provide ambient lighting, he pulls like a slug of earwax out of his ear and lights it like a candle. And for some reason, that scene has just lived in my brain ever since. I thought it was so funny when I was a kid. I thought it was so weird. I've kind of always wanted to make my own earwax candle, which is very strange, but I've decided to do it. And probably against my better judgment, I've decided to put it on the internet. So originally I was thinking I would just get like some candle making supplies, like some dye and some wax and a wick, and like make it myself. But I was like, yeah, but that's not gross enough. And then I had the thought of like, what if I saved my own earwax? And I was like, that would take too long. And also that's way too gross. So I was like, what's something that's like medium gross? So I don't know if you've ever had those like cheese snacks that have wax around them. They're like wrapped in plastic and then they're wrapped in wax and then there's a little wheel of cheese inside. So I have these little like half moons of cheese wax that if I'm honest, like do not smell very good. And like if you do warm it up in your hands a little bit, it becomes like a pretty workable medium. So I'm gonna use cheese wax and then this like cotton string to make my wick. And we're just gonna see if this works. Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. There we go, DIY wick. Next we're gonna coat the wick in wax so that it will be able to like straighten and like stand up on its own. Just gonna get some little pieces. I really, really love the Shrek movies. When you see it at a young age, especially if you've been raised watching like Disney princess movies, which I did. I loved them. I loved princesses. I thought they were so cool. But like also none of them felt like human beings. They were all kind of like super pretty and super skinny and like never burped or farted, which Princess Fiona does. And I appreciate that. I too am a human being. I think that's about the size that we want. So now I'm gonna trim the end. And there we go. We've got our little wax wick. And now basically my plan from here is to take the rest of the wax and just kind of work it into a glob, like a workable soft glob, and then wrap it around the wick. Is this a weird time to talk about my crush on Mike Myers? Not in Shrek. Like, it wasn't because of Shrek. Like, I'm not into Shrek. Like, I watched him in kids' movies when I was growing up. Like, I saw him in Shrek and Cat in the Hat. Amazing movie, by the way. Cat in the Hat is terrible. It's such a good bad movie. And then when I was in the 5th grade, we had to do projects on famous Canadians because I'm Canadian. I remember a lot of my classmates were doing Roberta Bondar, who was an astronaut, and Alexander Graham Bell, who invented the telephone. And then I remember my best friend and I were like, let's choose actors so then we can watch movies and call it homework. And so they did a project on Jim Carrey and I did a project on Mike Myers. And that was the first time I saw like Wayne's World and the Austin Powers movies, and I fell in love. I've had such a crush on Mike Myers ever since. I love him. I did float the idea to a couple friends of doing a video where I make like a tier list of all of Mike Myers' different characters by like dateability. So let me know if you want to watch that because I kind of want to make it. Okay, so now we've got our wax, we've got our wick. We're wrapping it around. Clench it tight and smack it down. And now I have my very own Shrek earwax candle. Hey, you ever do arts and crafts? Okay, so I've got the skeuomorphism lighter. I'm pretty sure this is gonna light, but why not do an on-camera test? Okay, make a wish. So, candle review. It looks awful. Great. It works. Awesome. And it doesn't smell too bad. I was worried that I'd accidentally made the world's worst scented candle. And I probably have. Like, I'm sure if I lit this for longer than a minute, it would start to give off a foul odor, but, a foul ogre. We have fun here. Okay, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. This was definitely a weird one. And hopefully, unless I've completely grossed you out, I'll see you around on the web. Bye!